love me some Argos.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
You're listening to Lex Cunningham's Pure Garbage Podcast.
Argos. But they're going to bounce back. They're for now. They're going to bounce back, and they're in a division with the Red Blacks
from Ottawa.
Smiles. Yep. Got Smiles, Chowder, and Portly.
Yes. Well, Red Blacks expansion team.
When?
Ottawa won a Grey Cup. No, come they're the newest team in the CFL.
Yes.
New oldest because they've already been there under a different name.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
there used to be two Rough Riders back in the day.
Correct.
Long-time CFL fan here, but the Red Blacks now.
Wow.
The Red Blacks now, solid team.
Red or black?
They're fun, and every time they score a touchdown, they actually saw a piece of wood with a saw.
They saw a piece of wood.
Very entertaining.
And then they got the Alouettes. And the Alouettes, Alouette,
Well, they're from Montreal, so they suck. Move on.
Wow.
You're listening to Lex Cunningham's Pure Garbage Podcast.
in Montreal, as we can see there.
Rebuilding
Let's
team.
talk about
They're
that.
rebuilding.
GM just stepped down or resigned?
Yeah. I want to talk about the Hammer, the TICATS.
That's
boys.
why you're all jumping. You're all
Exciting
the
team.
TICATS.
One of the best players in the CFL. She played for the Hamilton TICATS. His name is Brandon Banks. Super exciting to watch.
Love Banksy. Love Banksy.
Returns kicks, catches touchdowns. This is probably the most fun guy since Pinball Clemens or Gizmo Williams.
Come on. Oh, you're dropping Gizmo. Gotta love me
Listen,
some Gizmo.
boys, the best football team in and around the Golden Horseshoe, including Buffalo, is the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
I loved Iverwood Stadium with the steel girders as
It's
the wind
actually a
would
new
blow
stadium now. It's
through.
called Tim Hortons Field.
It is.
I was just about to do my football voice. He's shit all over that.
It breaks my heart that Hamilton is the best team. As a diehard Argos fan, I can't stand that team.
Love the Ticats. but
Labor Day, the Argos will get their first win, and it'll be against the Tiger Cats.
The Labor Day Classic I would go down to with the lady, and she bought the tickets. And we
Did
get
you
down
always
there.
get the popcorn?
Whatever. And then we'd get down there and the smell of hot dogs through the steel girders and the way the sound of the roaring crowd chanting Oski wee wee. Anyway, so that's the division there, and the Ticats are on fire. Any thoughts about the Ticats? Their Smiles.
Yeah, Mazzoli, their quarterback.
Wicked.
He's been throwing the ball
he's a
around the
stud.
field, and he can run it.
He's a stud.
He's definitely a dual threat
He's
quarterback.
a stud. He's an absolute stud.
You're listening to Lex Cunningham's Pure Garbage Podcast.
Tim Hortons Field, fun place to go to too. That's just
New
small
stadium.
town CFL football
Beautiful.
at its finest.
Small town CFL football. If you're in the GTA across the country, Canada, you got to check out the CFL. No, they're not a sponsor, but we love them so much. We watch games. We go down and we watch the Argos and carry on like goofballs. Get out there, have some fun. Canadian football's just as good as everything else that's out there.
You're listening to Lex Cunningham's Pure Garbage Podcast.
BMO Field's an exciting place to watch a game. Might not win the game, but it's exciting.
To watch a TFC game. I want the Argos back in the dome, baby. That was Argo days.
Old days.
Doug Flutie.
I used to put the field
Damon
together.
Allen.
Yeah, I know you used to put the field together. Now let's go. CFL West.
The West Division, the West Division, the West Division of the CFL. West Division, the West Division, the West Division of the CFL. All right, Lions.
Yeah, struggling right now, but they got some exciting players, especially Duron Carter. He's the son of NFL great Chris Carter, and he's this outstanding player. He's got a little bit of attitude problems here and there.
Hold on a second. Do not mention Chris Carter in this room. Nobody likes him.
He didn't say hello to you one time in that underground parking lot at 11 o'clock at night.
Well, you
You're
should
still
have had
holding
the
a
belt.
grudge.
Yeah, exactly. Holding a
Get
grudge.
over it, man.
Take
You
the
were wearing a
balaclava
mask.
off next time, you freak.
I don't want to
Anyway.
hear about Chris Carter.
Anyway.
Yes, his son Duron Carter, stud, super talented. He's actually an NFL caliber player, but he has attitude problems and all
No
that kind of problems.
surprise
So that's why he's playing in the CFL right now. He's trying, but he's trying to get back to the NFL. But he's a solid player and he's fun to watch.
They should be 0-4. The only reason they won a single game is because they beat the Argonauts on a last-second rouge, which we're not going to talk about because it broke my heart.
It's my heart still broken over that loss to.
Don't spike the ball. Run it out, man.
Run it out. Anyway, their defense is porous, and but their points for and points against are 102 to 158. So they got to strap it up and get tight there. And then sitting just above them, only because their for and against points are a little bit better, are the Rough Riders. The Rough Riders used to have some swagger.
Yeah, this is surprising.
The Watermelon Heads, man, they got some of the probably the best fans in the CFL.
Beautiful fans.
Might have the best fans in the world.
It's the place I always wanted to go to see a CFL game, and I could never get out that way because of my...
You're listening to Lex Cunningham's Pure Garbage Podcast.
But yeah, Rough Rider
Old ball and
fans,
chain, eh,
Saskatchewan, they always represent. And every time the Rough Riders are on the road, you'll see the green, and you see the Watermelon Heads everywhere. So CFL loves the Rough Riders. Rough Riders love
Greatest
the CFL.
fans in the CFL.
For sure.
Only
Green,
place
everyone?
you could see your dog run away for miles. Ding ding child.
You know where the dog will end up? In my western town called Winterpeg.
Hold on.
Winnipeg.
We're now going to Calgary, my
Wait
friend.
a minute.
No, we'll end up with Winnipeg in the end because they're number one in the division, but right now we're going Stampeders.
Listen,
the size of my head.
The Stampeders are a little bit beat up right now. They're coming back. There was a guy who went to my school that plays on the team.
Excuse me.
Thank you. There's a guy who went to my school that plays on the team. They've won how many freaking championships or been to how many Grey Cups in the last 10
Bring
years?
a horse to the hotel for the Grey
They
Cup.
are a powerhouse of the CFL, and they have a soft spot in my heart because my boy to the left of me right here, Mr. Lex Cunningham, nobody in this room knows and nobody in the media knows.
Don't do it.
He was a defensive lineman in the 80s for the Calgary Stampeders, and try to look him up. But let me tell you, he played with one gentleman, and they were friends. And his name might have been
Don't do this.
Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, you're such a goof.
The Rock.
Can you smell what the Rock is
Lies.
cooking?
Broke his leg in the 80s.
Lies.
I loved him. He had 3 sacks in one game. That's his claim to fame.
Oh, you're such a liar.
Shortened season. Was it attitude problems, Lex?
I'm going to give you attitude in about
And
4
back to the
minutes.
current Stampeders, Bo Levi Mitchell, superstar quarterback, had a little cup of coffee trying to try for the NFL, but he said, I'd rather play in the CFL because it's a great league down here.
With that,
Or
name,
up here.
with that name, does he have a country album?
Say
out?
that name again.
Bo Levi
Mitchell.
No, I still can't hear. Who?
Bo
Levi
Mitchell.
So with that, the Stampeders are sitting at 124 points for and 104 against, and they will probably win that division.
Yes,
but
they
first, they got to go through Edmonton, who's sitting at 3-1. Thoughts about the Eskimo?
I don't think we can pronounce that. I think they're called the Inuit. Can't say Eskimo. Just like you couldn't say Redskin, my friend. Sorry. This is just a disclaimer here, boys.
Edmonton's solid team.
Wow.
Solid.
Speechless.
Famous for
That's a shot on you.
Gizmo.
and Warren Moon.
Warren
Oh,
Moon.
yeah.
I was going to say it first.
4 straight Grey Cups
I was
back in the
gonna
80s.
In
Back
their
in the
heyday.
80s.
Okay, so
Yes,
Warren
yes.
Moon is the Joe Montana, Tom Brady of the CFL. Sorry, Mr. Flutie. Sorry, all the other great quarterbacks that have played. Warren Moon scared the shite out of everyone in North America.
Anyone.
Not just in the
so did
CFL,
Flutie.
but in the NFL. And he played in a time in which there was a lot of bias against quarterbacks of his ilk coming in to play, quote unquote, down south in the big league. So he had to do it up here. Also, there was a really great quarterback that used to play. His name was called Chuck Ely.
You're listening to Lex Cunningham's Pure Garbage Podcast.
But then there was Damon Williams.
Yeah.
He was a really great quarterback.
He was good with the BC Lions. He's won Grey Cups.
And
with
this
the
was
Argos.
a time when Edmonton was a thriving place, not somewhere where you just trickled through and locked your doors and kept on driving all the way down to Calgary.
Oh, it's back in the days
just
of-
raced the whole town off. Edmonton, we love you. And the
Not me.
Portly's more of a Quebec boy.
La bum. Okay, so now, Chowder, you get to warm up on your mighty Winnipeg.
First, I'd like to say hello to everybody in Winnipeg and all the big skeeters. We love you. And do you guys see what the Blue Bombers are doing? Did you see how they romped over the Bombers on Friday?
Their stadium is
over the Argos on Friday.
their stadium is so state of the art. It's actually one of the better ones compared to NFL stadiums.
It is. Great place. I remember when I visited down Winterpeg, as we call it here in Canada.
Was that when we shot that porno?
We were
boys.
we were
Not
loving
with each other. I held the boom mic. Get over it.
We were loving that stadium, state of the art sound, it's noisy place.
Yeah.
So it's fun experience there. In
That place is rocking.
And there you have it, folks. So East and Western Conference. Now let's have a quick chat about where and what is going on in the league in the upcoming few weeks.
You're listening to Lex Cunningham's Pure Garbage Podcast.
All right, news around the CFL. Huge breaking news, and I mean huge, and not to make light of it or slight of it for Montreal Alouettes fans, but GM Reed, Gavis Reed, fired, shrouded in secrecy to avoid any legal trouble.
Oof. Never sounds good when you hear that, does it?
No.
They're really keeping a good hold on this. Nothing's really leaking on it right now, but we can all speculate a bit of what's going on.
Can I make the first speculation?
Absolutely.
Since I have a close friend that partied in Montreal this weekend,
Break it.
I think he had an affair with him.
It's unclear.
A pretty big thing in Montreal.
It's a small person, by the way.
The club's saying it's unclear whether the circumstances that led to his dismissal were on a personal or professional level, according to this report of the Canadian press, not the club itself.
We'll find out soon enough.
We'll find out. Stay tuned here on the podcast. All right, folks, we're going to close with this. How long's that Argo coach stay and hang around down there?
2 more weeks.
He's a rookie coach. You have to let things settle in. He doesn't have a whole lot of talent right now. Just let him do his thing. Let him build. You know what? It's going to be a rough year. Stick him around. We need some consistency on this Argonauts team. He's got a year at him.
He's just going to implement his plan. I think you should give him a couple more weeks, implement his plan, get the game plan going, get the guys to learn his coaching style.
2 weeks.
You're saying 2 weeks?
Goodbye. You're off the ship.
But who are we looking
Mighty
for?
ship
Who are
Argo.
we out there looking for?
I'm sticking with my boy Chamberlain. You know why? Because he was a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, baby.
Oh, boy.
That's why
There
they're
you
losing.
go.
All right, folks.
That's why they're losing. We were talking about this, didn't we?
Yes,
Talked about this?
Yes.
And hold on, didn't the Bucks pick up the ex-Argo head coach, Tressman?
Yes.
Oh, the Buccaneers are going to be
See the
garbage.
link?
Great quarterback guru.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, CFL Talk will be here on the podcast. We're going to try to get it out to you as fast and as hard as we can. We can.
Thank you, Porley. Thank you, Chowder. Thank you, Smiles.
Anytime, buddy.
We love the CFL.
Thank you for listening to Lex Cunningham's Pure Garbage Podcast. To find us, subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Podbean, Podcast Addict, Downcast, and Stitcher.